So I'm noticed that my lily was showing its little milk crate, which means that it's only got about 12 inches to 14 inches to the bottom. So I decided to get the pump going with the help of my dad, and we noticed that the fish were coming up to the water. So I had noticed that all the goldfish were around. I hadn't seen them in a little while, but there's a whole bunch of them, and I only put in a dozen feeder fish. There is well over three dozen in there, plus those other fish that I talked about in one of my other videos, like back in the beginning. There's all these spontaneous fish that showed up. So here we are filling it up, and got about a tank and a half or so. We've probably got about, I'm going to say about, I want to say about 4 to 5 inches maybe. But we're going to see how long it goes, and I'm going to keep working on the greenhouse in the meantime. So as you can see, we're got a good little runoff here. This is the runoff creek. It actually goes to the main creek. This is just rain runoff from the roads and the ditches and the springs and stuff. So we're going to, we got a little pile here. Yesterday I was filling up the pond a little bit, and it did pretty good. So we're going to keep going. And if I only have to fill the pond up once a year, I think I'm doing pretty good. But with all those fish there, now knowing that they're there, I'm going to want to keep them alive. So let's get this generator started up, or this pump here started up, and get going. Did a pretty good job, actually. You know, I probably filled it up 3 times. About the same reservoir as a line trimmer or a whippersnapper or weed whacker. But yeah, if I can do this, I'm going to let this run for a whole one and see where we're at. We're about, I don't know if you can see that exactly, but you're about a foot, maybe 1.5 feet from the top here. But then I'm going to maybe see what I can do with this one here. This is the big pond here. I'm assuming that if these fish lived in the small pond, they're probably alive in this big pond, so we might want to try and put some water in there. Like I said, if I only fill it up once a season, or once a year, I'll be doing all right. Okay, so like I'm going to start putting in some of these ceiling rails, the window rails. But first thing I'm going to do, so that I don't have to do it when I'm up there, is get rid of this old mast here. This is just window mast sealant. So they use it because it is a type of compressibility that they need in order for these windows to seal properly. So that's what I'm going to use too. So I did that. Probably took about 10 minutes. Best I'm gonna do. So I better get at it, because there's about 1,000 of them to do. So let's go. So I'm starting to fill up the big pond. Might as well try and see what happens. It's way bigger, so it's gonna take a lot longer. But the other pond here looks pretty good. I mean, looks better than she did. Yeah, she's right up there. Lots of goldfish. I love it. So I think I'm on my 3rd tank here. I'm up over this little hump here, the center one. So now we got to get over this tall one here. That's how you know we're doing okay, as long as it doesn't get below there. But you know, I wasn't really worried about if there's any fish. I haven't seen any goldfish like we did on the small one. And there was all that little water spraying, they all came in. And if you come over here and look at the small one, all along the edges, there's like the goldfish everywhere. Like they're all up in the shaded areas and all around. Oh, there's some, if you look really tight, there's some in the bulrushes there. See them? There you go. Alright, just getting a closer look here, and in my large pond, a whole bunch of goldfish. Don't know how they got there, because they should have only been in the small pond. The small pond is lower than the big pond. So something grabbed them, moved them up. Something happened. But there are fish in this big pond. I'm just seeing it now. So it just makes me think that I'm going to have to get a little bit of a sprinkler system for these two ponds. So I bought a couple of mangoes at the store, and I'm going to see if I can get these seeds to germinate. And this is the weirdest seed I've ever seen. It almost looks like it's got a head start. So all you have to do is make sure that this piece right here, which is like a lima bean, they say put this piece down. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go over to our strawberry things. I'll probably be taking this home so I can keep an eye on it. But we're just going to, I got a big pot. I thought I had some other pots, but I'm just going to put that one right in there like that. And that's what I'm going to do. And that should be enough. I'll give it a water and just let her go. So here's some birdie pictures for one of my viewers that wanted to see them. But this is our pheasant. That's our male right there. And all his colors are starting to come back in. We got the female poking her way out over here. There's a little female there. And we got a couple more down in here. Just one in there. Some of the others are in the aviary already. And then I'll take you over and I'll show you the newest babies, how they're doing. As you can see, they're all getting quite big, quite fast. This is the little yellow chicks that we had. They're all doing well. And my mom is making a few more cages right now, so see how that goes. Alright, so yesterday I was able to clean up a lot of these rails here with this tar or mast, window mast. It was a pain, took a long time, killed my fingers. I did about 23 of these, so I have plenty to keep me going, and it is just super hot out here. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's a beautiful day, but it's a hot day. So I'm going to try and stay hydrated. And yeah, you can see I got them all lined up. So there's about 5 in each section of the greenhouse. So we'll work on the one side and then we'll switch to the other side. Also in the same thing, I'm doing the same thing I was doing yesterday, as I'm continuing to fill the pond. And plenty of fish are being seen. And I'm still scratching my head. So it's another muggy morning. It's Monday. Again, this is my second 4-day long weekend. And then next weekend is the Labor Day long weekend. We'll get 3 days out of that. It's a little windy, so it's nice. Got a little breeze going on. I hope it's not screwing up my audio here. I'm just gonna go do what I can, not what I can't. I gotta scrape a lot of those rails and get the mast out of them, but these ones on the side I can do while they're upright. So I might just put in a bunch of these. And there's some of the work I did yesterday with my niece's help. Really, I just spread them out a bit because I needed to brace the top crest crown there. So let's get to work. So these are what I'm working with right here. That's what they look like. And when they go in the little slot, they turn and they tighten, and then you can get the nut on there that holds it on. So pretty neat. I'm gonna need to get more. I'm gonna have to find where to get them too. So if you do know, leave one in the comments and let me know where to get them. Then I got to use these little brackets too as well. So, but they're all held on with the same type of T-bolt, whatever they want to call that. So I'm gonna get going on this, and I'll show you some of the progress as I go. So as I put up a bunch of those rails, I've only connected them at the top. So down at the bottom there, I still have to tie them in because the roof truss, the top, it floats. It floats on those rails basically. So what I'm doing is I'm about to put in the second long piece of roof truss there, and that's what I'm working on right now. So let's keep going, and we'll see how much we get done in a day. Okay, so this is where I'm at for now. I got one more day. Tomorrow's Monday, and then I'm gonna keep working on it and just keep going. So there's nothing I can do. Then we got another long weekend next weekend. We'll see how much more we can get done. So my niece is here. She's brought me a little gift, and we're gonna go fill it up down in the garden. This is what my niece Karen brought me. So we'll be able to pick a bunch of these tomatoes. They are so good. I've never eaten so many tomatoes in my life. So we're gonna fill up the basket and we'll show you what we got. Well, we really did do a number on this basket here, and we filled it right on up. These are all nice, shiny, red, delicious tomatoes right out of the garden here. I have way more, but the basket's full kind of now. But I'll pick up some more tomorrow before I go to work, so I can take it to work and they'll be as fresh as they can be for work. So I'm just digging in my my cuttings box here because I wanted to see if anything was rooting. So I'll get under there and pop it up and see. And it looks like these things, it's funny, they had buds on them. They're still a little green, but I'm not getting any roots on them. So even though I shouldn't give up, I'm going to give up on these. But I pulled out a grape. These are the Concord grapes, or I think, yeah, there should be all Concord. They have huge rooting systems on them already, so I'm just going to go plant these in a couple of pots, get these grapes kind of started, and you know, we'll keep them going, and we'll keep looking in here and see what's going on. Alright, so I ended up with 6 grapes. I believe they're all Concords. I do have all with my strawberries and my lavender. All of these will be stored for the winter, and they'll be put in the spring. But if you like my videos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and by all means leave a comment below, and we can talk about whatever it is that you feel that we need to talk about when it comes to my farm, and or what I'm growing, what I'm not growing, by all means.